Real quick, so I'm working on my video about how black people vote against their own interests, and one of those issues I said was immigration, another was school choice, and the third, which I'm preparing a video for in the future, gun control. But I watched the Grapevine video, and it was interesting. I don't know his name, but the one biracial dude was saying how safe he feels because he lives up in New York. I mean, he lives up north. He lives in Jersey near the Hudson River. He has this delusion that the redneck tiki torches people aren't coming up to get him, and he feels safe about that, right? Whatever. And people questioned him in that video, but the funny thing is, this movie, Bushwick, which is it's a trash low budget film, it just came out this year. Horrible reviews because it was corny. But in the video, in the movie, it illustrates that exactly what he said he's not afraid about happening, or what he's not worried about happening, it happens in the movie. Basically, a bunch of, spoiler alert, a bunch of alt-righters, I guess you want to call them that, militias came from Texas, Louisiana, and whatever, the South, because they want Texas to succeed from the Union. So they came up north, and pretty much their goal in the movie was just to hold people capture and use it for ransom to get the president to make them succeed. But there were more guns there than they expected. But the whole premise was, in their data or whatever, was black people don't have guns. New York, certain guns are illegal, like ARs. The SAFE Act, you cannot have an AR-15, you can't have a AK-47, whatever, any type of guns that look scary, like an assault weapon. You can't go out and buy one now. If you already have one, you have to register it, you can have it, but you can't have any more, right? So basically, that's what the movie showcases. The movie showcases them coming to New York specifically because they thought it was weak, vulnerable, and because a lot of black people are anti-gun and support, Democrats, politicians, and whatever, and they help take guns away. Ironically, Mouse made a point that I actually agree with for the first time on the show. He said, well, how are, in regards to their conversation on what happened in Charlottesville, is how are you supposed to protect yourself or defend yourself against these tiki torch dudes when liberals are the ones who push to go against gun control or push for against ownership and all the other stuff, right? Which is true. It's like, how can you? Now, one could look at that two ways. I would say black people should go out and register to get guns, obviously, but I don't think there's a way to track by race who's buying guns and what like that. I don't remember ever, when you go there, they don't ask you your race fee application or anything like that, or when you do your certificate, whatever. So I don't even know how that works. I did see a segment of Roland Martin where he was saying that black women are the number one, blah, 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 which it doesn't really mean shit. All it means is that black women are registering guns late. Like, they're late to the party. And the city that data came from, Chicago, which I'm interested to know how truthful all that is they have way stricter gun laws or whatever. But absolutely, black people should go out and register. But black people logic, right, liberal logic is, let's go out there and register guns so that, because of the racist system, they'll take the guns away or they'll do something with gun control. If black people go out and register guns, where 22% of Americans, 22% of black Americans are armed, whereas 48% of white men are armed. So a higher percentage of them are just the men are armed, and in totality, black people, 22%. But I'm working on my video on it, on gun control and why black people shouldn't support it. But I just thought it was funny hearing the dude on the Grapevine say he feels safe and he feels like he's protected living up north in his little kumbaya, gun-free zone. But in essence, you are a threat for people who want to come. If the Japanese or some Muslims want to come, going to Texas is not that smart. Going to Georgia is not that smart. Going to California, going to New York, going to New Jersey, that's smart. And then the funny thing is too, I heard people talking about some mass shooting happened, and I seen some rappers was like, yeah, come to Chicago. But I'm like, yeah, not ready for whoever terrorist or whoever that was doing that stuff. Those people are armed militia. Yeah, that's what it was. Someone was saying that the tiki torch dude should come to Chicago. But I'm like, these people know how to shoot and they're trained. Y'all can't even hit the people y'all trying to shoot. Y'all be hitting babies and shit and 90-year-old vets who survived World War II but get shot on this porch because y'all don't know how to shoot. But I was just dumb. But I'm working on that video. But it just was funny to me hearing the dude say all this stuff about how I feel safe in my little utopia and we're good here. And then you see all the backlash from people after the Vegas shooting, all these black celebs included, talking about black people should go out. Well, they're talking about the football players should hold up AR so Congress can act on it or whatever. It's like we're making fun of the fact that we are the only dumb people on the planet who doesn't want to be armed. We are the only ones who support gun control, and that means including leaving us who are already vulnerable in our own communities. And it was just funny watching the Roland Martin segment, which I will talk on when I do my videos. Like, he talks about the gun ownership of black women like it's a good thing, and he tried to frame it like the lady shut him down too. He tried to frame it in a way that the reason why black women are doing this is because the whole thing with Trump's president and the Tiki Torch dudes. I'm like, well, most likely, unless you live in the South, most black people don't live in proximity to these Tiki Torch hillbilly type cats anyways. So that was just dumb to say that. If a black woman is buying a gun, or a black man, 9 times out of 10, he's going to use it on somebody that looks like them and their community. So the whole thing, Roland tried to stretch it and make it about Trump's in office and people feel unprepared. If you're in the South and you live in these pockets where they flying Confederate flags around, possibly that might be your reality. But if you live in Chicago, the Northeast, Chicago, or even in California, that's not your experience. But I just thought it was funny how the lady was like, no, I'm not a member, because he tried to bring the NRA up. She's like, well, I'm not an NRA member. And then he tried to say the white supremacists. She's like, well, no, I haven't encountered any white supremacists. I got a gun because I work in the hood often, and my husband wanted me to feel safe, so he told me to go out and get a gun, and I did it. But I'm going to talk about that when I do my video on black people and gun control and how we're dumb for supporting that shit.
That was down in Charlottesville, they look like a militia. The only way to fight a militia is with another militia. So if y'all really down for the cause, create a militia. Create a militia and get it popping. I am not. I live in the Northeast. These niggas not coming here. You know what I'm saying?
You don't think they're here in the Northeast?
No. Hold on, I'm not done. The militia is not coming here and winning. How about that? Okay. Now listen. Now here's the other thing. There's a Second Amendment thing. Like if y'all want to strap up. But we're talking about how to react and what we should do as far as Charlottesville goes, right? They are an organized militia. If you're scared, get organized and get ready. I personally am not afraid of them. I'm not. Maybe I might want to call me naive. It is what it is. I feel protected. I am not scared of them. I'm not getting a militia. I'm not strapping up, and I'm not going against them. But if whoever is scared...
What do you feel protected by? What protection?
The area that I live in the country. That's what I do. Call it naive if you want, but it is what it is. That's my answer. It's not going to change.
You live in Jersey,
all I'm saying,
which is full of woods. You don't think there's racist militias out there?
Dog, I live 2 minutes from the fucking Hudson River. I'm good.
Back and forth, go ahead.
Texas, Louisiana, Florida, North Carolina, South Carolina, West Virginia, Georgia are with us. Parts of Maryland and Pennsylvania are on the brink.
It's like a new civil war?
Sir, we're good men from those states.
Yeah, we're a private army.
Mercenaries.
What's the plan?
We'll force Congress to ratify the secession.
Well, how are you gonna do that?
This is how we're gonna do that. Insurgency.
What's the plan here in New York?
We were just supposed to lock down Bushwick, round people up, no one gets hurt, establish a green zone for further operations, and wait for the president to fold. We didn't anticipate so much resistance from a designated soft spot.
And why the hell is that?
Ethno-diversity, sir.
Racist motherfucker.
It ain't racist, it's fact.
This racist pig fucker thinks that because there's so many minorities here in Brooklyn that we won't fight back? Well, how's that working out for you? How's that working out?
Our intel told us.
Fuck your intel.
There weren't supposed to be so many guns. They're illegal here.
Welcome to New York, stupid motherfucker.
Once we got...
And didn't see this coming, right? You should always see stuff like this coming. It shouldn't be a surprise. It's been happening since the dawn of time. Also, it's very hard for the left to arm themselves and defend themselves with the same guns that you're fighting so hard to take away.
Okay.
Vegas after these things happen, but what we really do be praying for is gun control. You know what I'm saying? Gun control and crazy control.
What do you think the right gun control would be?
I just don't think anybody should be able to get automatic weapons to that magnitude. Like, simple and plain.
Yeah.
Like, for what? Like, what do you need a chopper for? Like, what do you need that shit for? Like, I love guns. Don't get me wrong. I love my Second Amendment rights. I love my right to bear arms.
Yeah.
But I don't need that shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm going to tell you what really pissed me off. This motherfucker sprayed into a crowd of defenseless people who weren't expecting it.
Other things. This is a good.
There are other purposes.
You don't need
in
an AR-15.
We don't need these guns. Look, now look. I'm all the way on the left. I'll admit that. I would get rid of all guns tomorrow. I'd confiscate all the guns in the country.
If I knew everybody was going to give up guns, I'd give up my.
I'd be willing to take that chance. I know everyone. I know everyone's not that far to the left, but you gotta start somewhere. You gotta.